Chosen one, before you continue, pause for just a moment, because what you're about to hear isn't just another motivational message. It may be the very confirmation you've been praying for. God says, the pain you've been carrying has never been pointless. Every tear, every rejection, every lonely night has been preparing you for a harvest that no one saw coming. Chosen one, have you ever felt like people counted you out? Like they made up their minds about your future before your story had even begun? Some ignored you, some betrayed you, some walked away without explanation, others smiled to your face, but secretly hoped you would fail, and after experiencing disappointment again and again, you started asking yourself, maybe they're right, maybe I'll never become who God called me to be. But today, heaven answers that question with one powerful sentence. They thought they buried you, but they never realized I was planting a seed. Chosen one, a seed has a strange journey. Before it becomes a tree, it disappears beneath the ground. It is surrounded by darkness, covered with dirt, pressed from every side. If someone looked at it during that season, they would think it had been forgotten, destroyed, buried forever. But the seed knows something the world doesn't. Its greatest season begins underground. Chosen one, your hidden season has felt exactly like that. People only saw the darkness. They saw the failures, the closed doors, the unanswered prayers, the financial struggles, the heartbreak, the loneliness, and they assumed your story had ended. But God says, what looked like burial to them was preparation to me. Chosen one, the enemy celebrated too early. He believed the betrayal would stop you. He believed rejection would silence you. He believed disappointment would destroy your faith. He whispered, it's over. No one believes in you anymore. God has forgotten you. But every whisper was a lie, because while the enemy was watching your circumstances, God was working on your future. Chosen one, remember Lazarus for 4 days. Everyone believed the story was finished. People cried, hope disappeared, the tomb was sealed. Human logic said, nothing can change now. But Jesus arrived, and with just a few words, everything changed. Lazarus, come out! The same God who called Lazarus out of the grave still calls dreams back to life today. Chosen one, maybe your dream feels buried. Maybe your confidence feels buried. Maybe your purpose feels buried. Maybe your joy feels buried. But if God can bring life out of a tomb, He can certainly bring life into your situation. Chosen one, God says, do not judge your future by your current season. Winter never lasts forever. Night always gives way to morning. The seed eventually breaks through the soil, and your breakthrough is closer than you think. Chosen one day, the people who assumed your story was over will witness a version of you they never expected. Not because you became stronger on your own, but because my grace carried you through the season they never understood. The tears you cried in secret will become the testimony people celebrate in public. The prayers whispered in the dark will produce blessings that shine in the light. Chosen one, stop asking why you were buried. Start asking what God is growing beneath the surface, because every delay, every disappointment, every rejection has been watering the seed of your purpose, and when the time is right, no person, no enemy, no circumstance will be able to stop what God causes to grow. Your season is changing, your roots are growing deeper, and heaven is preparing a harvest greater than you imagined. Chosen one, if you're still listening, then perhaps God wants to speak to the deepest part of your heart, because today, He says, the place where you almost gave up is the very place where my greatest miracle is about to begin. For a long time, you have been asking questions that seem to have no answers. Lord, why did you allow this to happen? Why did the people I trusted betray me? Why did every opportunity disappear? Why does it seem like everyone else is moving forward while I'm standing still? Those questions echoed through your mind day after day, night after night. And sometimes, the silence from heaven felt almost unbearable. But today, God gently answers, "You were not forgotten. You were being formed. Chosen one." The world celebrates what grows above the ground, but God often does His greatest work below the surface. No one applauds the seed while it's underground. No one notices the roots growing in silence. Everyone celebrates the tree. But very few understand the hidden process that made it possible. God says, "I have been growing roots inside you that will support blessings too great for shallow faith." Chosen one. The reason you've survived battles that should have broken you is because your roots have grown deeper than you realize. Every disappointment taught you patience. Every rejection taught you humility. Every lonely season taught you to depend on God instead of people. Every unanswered prayer strengthened your trust. Without realizing it, you became stronger, not louder, not more popular, but stronger. Chosen one. Remember David, before he ever wore a crown. He spent years alone in the fields, watching sheep, fighting lions, fighting bears. No crowds, no applause, no recognition. If someone had seen David during those years, they would have thought he was just another forgotten shepherd. But heaven knew something the world didn't. God wasn't hiding David. He was preparing a king. Chosen one. The same is true for you. Your hidden season is not punishment, it is preparation. The enemy called it delay. God calls it development. The enemy called it failure. God calls it training. The enemy called it the end. God calls it the beginning. Chosen one. There were moments when you almost let bitterness take control. You wondered why dishonest people seemed to succeed, why proud people appeared to prosper, why those who hurt others kept moving forward. Meanwhile, you remained faithful. You prayed, you forgave, you trusted God. Yet your own breakthrough seemed delayed. Today, God says, never compare temporary success with eternal purpose. Some people build quickly, only to lose everything later. But what God builds lasts. When God blesses, He adds peace. When God promotes, He also provides wisdom to carry the blessing. Chosen one. God says, "The harvest I am preparing for you will not simply change your circumstances, it will change your entire future." One opportunity can change your career. One conversation can change your direction. One act of God's favor can accomplish what years of human effort never could. Never underestimate what God can do in one moment, because while you've been counting the years, God has been preparing the appointed day. Chosen one. The enemy wanted the darkness to convince you that nothing was growing. But seeds don't grow because people can see them. They grow because God designed them to, and in the same way, your purpose has continued growing, even when no one noticed, even when no one applauded, even when everyone assumed your story was over. Chosen one. Very soon, people will begin asking, how did everything change so fast? They'll think your blessing appeared overnight, but only you and God will know about the hidden years, the silent prayers, the tears that watered the seed, the faith that refused to die, the countless times you chose to trust God, even when you couldn't understand His plan. Chosen one. God says, do not dig up the seed because you cannot yet see the harvest. Keep believing, keep praying, keep obeying, keep trusting, because the same ground that looks empty today will soon overflow with evidence of my faithfulness. Your roots are almost ready, the season of hidden growth is coming to an end, and the harvest I promised is closer than you've ever imagined. Chosen one. If you've stayed until this final part, then perhaps God has been preparing your heart for this very moment, because today, He wants you to stop seeing yourself as someone who was buried and begin seeing yourself as someone who has been planted for a greater purpose. God says, the season of hidden growth is ending, the season of visible fruit is about to begin. Chosen one. There were countless moments when you questioned everything. You questioned your calling. You questioned your purpose. You questioned whether your prayers were reaching heaven. You questioned whether your faith was enough, and after so many disappointments, you almost accepted a life that was far smaller than the one God had promised. But heaven says, I never changed my plans for your life. I only changed your path so you would be ready for them. Chosen one. A farmer never digs up a seed every day to check if it is growing. He trusts the process. He waters the soil. He waits patiently because he understands something important. Growth happens long before it becomes visible. God says, in the same way, I have been working in your life even when you couldn't see the evidence. Every silent prayer, every act of obedience, every moment you chose forgiveness instead of revenge, every time you trusted me while feeling discouraged has been watering the seed I planted inside you. Nothing has been wasted.